Hello and welcome to VVork. I'm Brian Watrous, and this is the 43rd in a 10-part video series where we're learning how to automate using vRealize Orchestrator. In this and the next few videos, we're going to be taking a look at some simple tasks that you perform when working with Orchestrator workflows. Let's take a look at what we'll be doing. So in these next few videos, again, these are very simple tasks, admittedly very simple tasks. We're going to learn how to create workflows, we're going to learn how to edit workflows, rename workflows, run workflows, delete workflows, and then as a little tangent, we'll take a look at how to delete workflow tokens. And then in the last video in this little series, we are going to learn how to do something mysterious and something quite useful. So you'll definitely want to stick around for that video. Now, if you've been doing Orchestrator and programming, obviously this video series, except for that last one, may not be entirely necessary for you, in which case that's fine. I'll see you in other upcoming videos. But I will, even if you are even if you have been working with Orchestrator for a while, I will spice this up a little bit by showing you how to perform each of these tasks, both using the legacy Java-based vRO client and the new HTML5 based client. So to get the ball rolling, we're going to start with seeing how to create a workflow. Let's do that first with the Java client. So let me go on over to the lab environment. If we want to create a workflow, we log into the vRO client. Again, this is the Java-based client, the legacy client. And then we need to go into a view that, so here's our views. We need to go into a view that has the Workflows tab. Now, as you can see, the Run view that you start off in by default has a Workflow tab, but so does the Design view. Now, I tend to do most of my work in the Design view, so I'm going to go ahead and switch there. And as we can see, there is, in fact, the Workflows tab. Well, if you're going to create a workflow in the client, the Java-based client, the first thing that you'll want to consider doing is creating your own folder structure for storing your workflows. So you can right-click the topmost object up here and choose Add Folder. Or if you've already done that, as I've done here, and you want to create subfolders, you can right-click any of these folders and choose Add Folder. But I have enough folder structure here already to organize this exciting new workflow that we're just about to create. So how do I create a workflow? Well, to create a workflow, you right-click a folder in the Workflows tab. You right-click a folder, choose New Workflow, and then you name your workflow. I'm going to call this one Exciting New Workflow. And then you hit OK. And at this point, you're in the editor and can edit your workflow, including doing things such as setting up the attributes of your workflow, along with other general properties, your input parameters, your output parameters, your schema, presentation, and so forth. Now, we've actually talked about these different tabs in earlier videos, so I'm not showing you how to actually create a workflow, but rather how to kick off the process. So now that we know how to create a workflow in the older Java-based client, let's switch over to the new HTML5 based client and see how to do the same thing. To create a workflow in the HTML5 client, the first thing you're going to do is go to the library section, which may be collapsed, in which case I'm sure you can figure out how to expand it. Then you click on Workflows, so Library Workflows, and in here you can see all the workflows that I've already created, but I want to create a new workflow. So I'll click on the New Workflow button. I'll give it a name, another exciting new workflow. Click Create. And now I'm in the editor and able to edit my workflow. Again, I have a Summary tab here, which is analogous to the General tab in the older Java client. The Variables tab is where you go to create attributes. In the older Java-based client, you clicked on the tab labeled General to do that. The Inputs and Outputs tab in the HTML5 client is where you create input parameters and output parameters. Schema is where you define the schema. And input form, this is worth mentioning. The input form is where in the HTML5 client you go to set up what we used to call input parameter presentation. We'll talk about that input form in a future video. But in the meantime, as you can see, I am in the process of creating this new workflow. So I've shown you how to create a workflow using the older Java-based client, and here we've shown you how to do the same thing with the HTML5 based client. Now, again, that's a simple task that you'll perform time and time again in the Orchestrator clients. What we'll be taking a look at in the next video is how to edit workflows. So I'll see you in the next video.